Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to more EU4 Domination, playing as Austria. Because this apparently is now Austria. Somehow my font got even worse. Don't ask me how that's possible. Lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, Austria. Anyway, in the last video, we made some pretty awesome progress. We kicked everyone else out of Africa. We have a single province left to conquer in all of Europe. North and South America are mine. That leaves just Asia, and I've made some pretty good strides over here, but there is still a lot to go. I did annex Castile. I could annex Portugal at any point at this time, which I will want to do soon because that is necessary for one of my missions, the whole settle Australasia thing, which, like, okay, no problem. But we're not going to be able to finish this mission tree until the revolution begins in the Age of Revolutions, which, by the way, is not far away. We didn't quite make it to 1700 in the last video, but we're only 3 years off, and around 1700, that's when we can expect the Enlightenment to fire off, and then the Age of Revolutions will go pretty shortly after that. So, who do we want to kill next? Answer, probably Persia. Persia over here is still allied to Baumanis and Hormuz. If we want to just go ahead and co-belligerize kind of all of these guys, we can finish a lot of them off. I am seriously debating whether it's worth keeping the HRE around much longer. Novgorod, Genoa, and Georgia all have some converting to do, but everyone else is kind of been useless up to this point. They're barely able to handle their own rebels. They're not really taking any land. Their coring range has kind of sucked. I'm not relying on them anyway. At some point pretty soon, it might be just worth clicking the button and saying, screw it, I'm the HRE now, I'm going to conquer the rest of the stuff. But just to make sure that I'm not going to have any issues with missions, I'll finish all of this up first, get all the way to Glory of the Habsburgs, get the AEIOU achievement, and when nothing is left except for converting, I think that's when I go ahead and click the button and become the Holy Roman Empire. Let's, by the way, go ahead and also pick up the Papal Legate, which gets me a 10% annexation cost reduction, which puts Scotland up to 92.3%. They will be annexed very soon. Reason we're annexing them? Because they are not able to join the HRE, and they honestly have not been very useful to me anyway, so I might as well just eat the land. And there they go. Alright, say goodbye to Scotland! And if I want to turn a bunch of this stuff into states, we can certainly do that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and convert a whole bunch of provinces that, for whatever reason, Scotland was lazy and decided not to convert. And at this point, I don't see any reason not to just go ahead and declare my war now. We can't co-belligerize Hormuz, but we can co-belligerize Baumanis. We'll not co-belligerize them, just not worth the extension. This should be pretty good. All right, and reminder, we do have access to imperialism! Gosh, my throat is just not used to that. It's been so long since I've been allowed to scream myself a little imperialism. So very long since the game's frozen, by the way. This is good. There we go. Okay, much better, thank you. You may wonder where that originated, by the way. It's kind of stupid, but where it originated from is a long time ago. I had watched the Game Grumps play Shovel Knight, which, by the way, fantastic game. Shovel Knight was a fantastic little thing. But anyway, a little joke that Dan had was Infinidagger, right? Some of you guys who've watched that know what I'm talking about. So there was just one point where, just for the heck of it, I'm like, it feels like imperialism needs a little something, a little kick, right? I'll just shout, imperialism, you know, every time I use it. And then it just kind of became a thing. And now I love it, and I can't stop. Is there anyone else that we ought to be killing at the same time, by the way? It's worth asking the question. Could fight Malacca soon. I would like to do that when we are able to co-belligerize them in something a bit smaller. Attack something like Jambi, they are a tributary, so that would be a way of calling in Malacca. Yeah, I don't know. Malacca's got a few allies and stuff, but they'd be fun to take out. They've got a lot of territory that kind of would stop me from combining things, so I have one army that easily takes care of, let's say, all of adjacent territory, and I can just go forth with my expeditionary forces, so that's a thing. What about over here? These guys? They'd be pretty easy for me to kill, right? Turn 8, Tondo, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, it's just the Philippines. It's just the Philippians. That's fine. Imperialism! And there's the Enlightenment. January 1st, 1700. The literal first chance it gets. Okay, turns out we live in a highly enlightened world. Where did the Enlightenment fire? Because it certainly seems like it wasn't in my territory. It's in Ulm, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be in Ulm? All roads lead to Ulm, that's what it comes down to. Alright, well, we're just gonna go ahead and build, like, a handful of, like, random universities and places. Just kind of like little cancerous tumors all over my territory. Just so we can very rapidly get the Enlightenment progress and spread it to adjacent provinces. Either way, though, that is going to kick off the Age of Absolutism, ending in 10 years, so we have almost reached that age of revolutions, and oh, when we do, this gonna be fun. Should be able to get some pretty nice power-ups out of this one. I've got 6,000 Splendor, good God. Oh man, I'm just too successful in this age. Alright, well, Balmanis is done, and I'm pretty sure I have no overextension, which means you should always have more stuff, right? I mean, that's the idea. If I've got no overextension, it's just opportunity cost lost. We should be always trying to get a bit more out of this. Actually, real quick, where are all your dang forts? There's 3 up this way, and I think that's about it. Okay, let's go ahead and just encircle these guys completely, so like, let's say Bengal can't jump on them in a moment of weakness, and also I just get rid of these forts, which makes it that much easier for me to finish them off in the future. That'll do the job. 87% more overextension, leaves me a little bit more just in case I decide to take some more stuff in either of these other wars. One more war should be all it takes, and then Balmanis is out for the count. Someone I definitely want to kill in this war, Hormuz. They've got 3 forts here that consistently slow down my entire vassal swarm. Get rid of these guys, and things get a lot easier. The Pope is making demands. They want me to hand over a heretic. So, as a general rule, I don't let you dictate my policy, so no. I mean, I don't want to antagonize the Pope, I benefit from the Pope and stuff like that, but at the same time, as a matter of principle, no, Pope man, I am Holy Emperor, okay? You may be the voice of God and everything, but I am the Emperor of man. Now, I'm just gonna eat Hormuz. Are we overextended now? Yeah, we are. I can live with it. It's not a big deal. And I can take all of this from Persia and just hand it off to vassals. Yeah, that doesn't seem so bad. I'm gonna have to eat Sind at some point fairly soon, by the way. I think they're kind of reaching their full potential, and I wouldn't mind just getting rid of them pretty soon. And of course, down here in the Philippines, we've also got to get rid of these folks, which is easily done. We'll just full annex everybody. Okay. Now, as usual, I shuffle my land around until I'm happy with it. Well, I regret taking all of this now, but that's fine. We're under 200% overextension. We've dealt with worse. It's probably okay. Well, while they're working on all of that, who else can I go kill? I would have said Bengal, but I would probably be the one to eat all of them, and I no longer feel like I can do that. So who else we got? Korea, Liang, Shun. We could go kill Shun. Yeah, and I can feed a load of land off to some vassals that way. That would work fine. Alright, we can do that. Belligerize Korea, get to fight Manchu and a bunch of other folks too. I like this idea. Alright, imperialism! Seriously, when did my voice get so weak? Ah! Imperialism! Come on, man. Come on! Embarrassing me. And then spend a bit more papal influence. That actually should put me at 100% mercantilism now, by the way, so I can't do any better than that. That's almost 200% extra trade power per province. And I'm so unbelievably good at embargoing people, I'm pretty sure I could literally starve the economy of anyone I decided to embargo, because I have so much control over the global markets. When I call myself the economic hegemon, I'm not kidding, okay? I suffer no rival. Good lord, Korea has some good forts. A level 10 fort for their capital? Jeez, dude. Wow, that's actually a really nice monument. Monarch administrative skill +2? That's insane. What's your dev? 54? Freaking heck, Korea! Well, if there was ever a time to go ahead and use an artillery barrage to create a breach to increase the chance of me continuing to get progress, that's it. Wow, yeah, I really want to weaken Korea. They're gonna be annoying to deal with in the future. It's reasons like this that I really want to have as much siegeability as possible. Because if you ever let your neighbors or your rivals get to a point where they're rich enough to afford level 8 to 10 forts, yeah, they'll use them. And man, they take years to break through. Finally, there goes their capital. All right, let's jump on the rest of their troops, and that brings me to 97% war score. So the question is, what can I do to effectively remove Korea's power in the future? The answer is pillage their capital, but mostly take away their forts, as many of them as possible, so I don't have to waste as much time on them in the future. Question, by the way, can I hand off the occupation of something like this to, let's say, Portugal proper? Can I do that? Oh, I can. Okay, so here's a way to force Portugal to extend their range in a direction that works for me. See, I like the idea of doing this, and forcing Portugal to kind of extend their presence in Asia. So I think we're gonna do this. Okay, and that's about all I could take out of this. I had to release Jin as another vassal because Ming could barely handle what I gave them, and that takes care of all this as well, and Portugal now has this. So 1, maybe 2 more wars against Korea should be enough, in theory. And this gets me a pretty dominant position in the rest of China, mainly taking along all the coastline that I care about. So, no more navies for them to worry about. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's go ahead and start the annexation of other folks, like, let's say, Ethiopia. There's no one left for them to conquer, so there's no reason for them to exist. Let's also remember to keep seizing some land. That brings me up to 90.8% crown land. Alright. Doesn't do a whole lot for me except for reducing autonomy change even further and just more reform progress. And the thing is, reform progress seems like it becomes useless at some point, right? We're about to get to the last level, which is separation of power. Pretty darn nice, honestly. But then once that's done, what's left? Answer, you just keep expanding administration. That little bit of extra governing capacity, it stacks up over time. Anyway, I think the next person for me to kill is probably going to be Malacca and all of their buddies, which, yeah, this is a fair number of people to kill, but seems kind of reasonable. Imperialism! Let's go ahead and embrace that enlightenment. Only costs 26,000 ducats. Who cares? Again, I am sitting on way more than I know what to do with, and looks like the Portuguese Navy is at work over here. Good, good, good. We've learned about the flying shuttle. Ah, right, okay. Provinces producing any sort of textiles, wool, cloth, silk, cotton, more likely to trigger industrialization events. We like industrialization events because those tend to make a lot of extra trade goods and lots of money. Also, coke blast furnaces, doing the same sort of thing, so coal and iron now becomes more valuable to us. Not that it matters. I mean, we control the entirety of the world's trade, let's be honest, so money is literally no object for the rest of the game. Still, as a matter of principle, it's kind of fun. I'm going to eat pretty much the entirety of Malacca, but I'm going to leave them one tiny little island, since at the moment, they're unwilling to completely concede, and frankly, I'm sitting on 0 overextension. We might as well go ahead and just start coring some stuff. Oh, there goes Ethiopia already. Dang, that was fast. Oh, we have so much diplomatic reputation as Austria. It's actually kind of sickening. But we're really good at this whole thing. Right now, this is 10.6, and that's because we are overextended and have just annexed a subject. So it actually would be about 16. I could spend up to 16 diplo power a month as an addition to the base of, what is it, 3? So like 19 to 20 per month. Annexing subjects. We are so good at this. Amazingly, we're actually almost caught up on conversions in my own territory again. Well, that's good. Then I'll finally be able to turn over to my vassals, of which there are many people who apparently are terrible at converting. Dear God, why are you guys so bad at this? Why do Protestants and Orthodox people exist? I mean, it's a general question, but also, like, in the game, like, legitimately. Why? You've had all the time in the world to convert them! And the Age of Revolutions finally begins. Wow, it is only 1710 right now. I'm finishing up the last little bit of Indonesia here. Took these guys as a vassal so I can feed because we're going to be overextended, and then I'll annex them properly. So this is about to finish off pretty much all of Indonesia, just a couple provinces in the Philippines, and Luwu to kill here. And then when we're done with that, Southeast Asia, the rest of China, Siberia, that's it. We're really close. We're scarily close. Anyway, Age of Revolutions, so we start with Emperor, powerful subject, large capital, great leader, and controlled institutions. I call that pretty good. So before we start our next wars, is there anyone else I want to go ahead and start annexing now? Sind, maybe? We could start annexing Portugal, but I just don't think we need to for a little bit. We could. I mean, we could just so I can get Australia under my control, but I don't think that's worth it. No, I'd rather go ahead and start annexing probably Sind. Let's get these guys. I can't. No, we need 190 opinion with them. What do you mean I don't have extremely high opinion? What do you mean my subjects are feeling kind of iffy about me? Ah? No, that's ridiculous. Alright, tell you what, I don't have a ton of diplo power anyway, so I'm just gonna skip the whole annexation for this particular phase. Bengal does need to die, but I'm kind of already coring a lot of stuff, so let's instead focus on continuing to kill people like Wu. We could co-belligerize a few folks if we want. I'm gonna leave this one as it is, because the other guys are relatively small and easy to eat anyway, so imperialism! And then we're gonna go over to people like Japan and probably finish them off as well. I mean, if the game hadn't frozen, that's what I would do. There we go. Hi, Japan! Imperialism! And then maybe we just go ahead and clean up some of the other little native nations and stuff. I know, by the way, that I still need to conquer like New Zealand and Hawaii and stuff. There are still natives in those areas, but like, what are they gonna do? All right, I don't have to worry about them. Let's just keep consolidating control over these islands. Case in point, down over here. Tidor, Japan can't defend you now, and you and Luwu shall die. Imperialism. But even Tidor has a level 9 freaking fort? The unfairness of this is just sickening. Okay, that finishes off a huge chunk of Wu, the rest of Japan over here, so that's all taken care of. Japan still exists, but they're far away. They don't really matter at this point. So the only remaining threats now would be Bengal and Ayutthaya. Those are the only two nations that have anything that matters. I guess Korea, but we've already got a good chunk out of them. So take out Bengal, Korea, Ayutthaya, and Persia. The rest fall into line extremely quickly. At least that's my theory. If I can get a diplomat, we'll go ahead and start the annexation process of Sind before we move on. Might as well get the next round of tech. We can get some royal mortars, so now I have better cannons. Good. All right, let me think. Is there anything else that I could be doing that would make some sense? No, I really do think we're on top of it here. I don't think I'm overlooking anything really important, except potentially for revolutions. Have we seen any evidence of the revolution beginning yet? I don't think so. In that case, let's go ahead and start the next round of wars. These are going to be some of the big ones. Let's plan on declaring war on Bengal. I don't care if I co-belligerize the rest, because I'm probably not going to take much from them, so this will be fine. Imperialism! And we might as well also jump into a war against Ayutthaya. Imperialism! We can get our first Splendor ability. Artillery levels available versus forts, force march, blah, blah, blah. Coring distance. You know, ignoring this will make it a lot easier for me to hand off territory as I desire to my vassals, so for convenience, I'm going to take that. Though I do often like the extra artillery damage, plus we have a special ability, morale damage received minus 20%. This is pretty good. Now, I do like the idea of trying to still take Khmer as a vassal, because we can feed a lot of Ayutthaya to them, and they'll be a pretty valuable asset for me in the future. However, I have a guarantee on this guy, because I forgot to revoke that, so that's not an option. There we go. But, of course, now I have to deal with a truce, so the question is, do I want to lose 3 stability over this? Probably not. But... I don't know. Is there anyone else I can release that would make any sense as like a vassal or something in the area? Not really. You know something? Screw it. I don't even care. I don't even care. Imperialism. You know why I don't even care? Because I can just buy some more stability using my papal influence, and I gain so much papal influence so fast that it's not gonna hurt me. It's gonna be completely fine. I'm still not totally sure I understand how the whole calculations work for annexation sometimes, by the way. I just got an event for like a 15% annexation reduction. All of a sudden we jump up to 200% on Sind. How did that happen? How did that happen? I do not know. But there they go. Oh, hang on. And that seems to have solved my font issue. I mean, it's still totally in the wrong spot, but it looks better. Oh, and you know what? I should probably just go ahead and put Britain out of their misery. They've been suffering over here for long enough, right? I think so. Imperialism! Oh, wow, that was really fast. I feel like this war ended in like 2 months. All right, bye. Thank you for playing, Britain. You're out. How is this one province 20% overextension? My God, the calculations of that. Just, something's got to change on that. A giant world-spanning empire, but oh no, one little province in England takes up 20% of my administration. What? I'm admittedly going slower than I really need to on some of these wars right now. It is true. Partly because I don't feel like I'm in a huge rush. I've still got so much to convert that going for world conquest isn't going to help me get my one faith a lot faster. So I can afford to just pay attention to like 3 wars and stuff, but we have less than 100 years left in the game. So we've got to, you know, I don't know about pick up the pace, but we can't get too complacent, all right? There's still a fair bit to do. All right, Khmer, you're going to become my vassal. I could also eat someone like this, and I guess I'll just take this territory for the sake of it. So, okay, we're done with you. Now that Khmer is my vassal, I can finally peace out with Ayutthaya, who is going to return a whole load of cores. And then I'll take all of this down over here so I can create some proper land bridges, which is great. And that's not even a problem from an overextension perspective. Perfect. And now I just turn my attention to Bengal, who, weirdly enough, still only has 48% war score. I don't really know how that's possible. I don't feel like they've got that much left. Oh, I take it back. They've got their capital left. Oh. That'll do it. Okay, this is the Imperialism CB after all. If you haven't taken their capital, they're not going to give up. And now I've got 99% war score. Okay. Eating all of this is going to be really tough. What I could do is ask them to go ahead and just release a bunch of folks. I don't love that idea, but I could. I'll just go ahead and take a bunch of territory. Hand some of it off to Punjab and stuff, but otherwise, whatever. So I'm overextended. What's new? How are you looking on the whole One Faith front, by the way? Pretty good. Catholicism's most of the way done. I do have issues with, like, Portugal having some trade companies that are no good, and the New World is still struggling quite a lot. The good news is they convert very, very quickly, so we can still get through all of that. There's just a lot of provinces to go. But a lot of the high development provinces in Asia have been taken care of, so, I mean, still on track, pretty sure. It's gonna take a while for me to core all this new land, so let's go ahead and start another big-ish war. Korea, Manchu, Shun, Chagatai, Liang, yeah, that all sounds good. Imperialism! The important thing is basically keep doing some of these wars and keep as much of the vassal swarm local as possible. Yeah, a lot of them are black flagged, and hopefully they end up fixing that, but I want them to stay locally in Asia. That's where all the wars are from here on out. And if you've got trouble back home, one, my troops are already solving the problem for you, but two, you guys suck. Let's go ahead and get that last reform. So do we want the administration efficiency and some effective, the max effective absolutism? Well, that's helpful. Legislative houses or right to petition. No, I think it's going to go for the political absolutism for sure. The max effect of absolutism would be fantastic for me. So, what does that put me up to, really? That means we're over 30%. So if I can get myself, what, some stronger governments, more legitimacy and stuff, that brings me up to 31.5. I feel like that's still probably the best we're gonna get. Unless it's saying I can go up to 115 absolutism, I'm not too sure how that works, but regardless, all right. That was an extra like 4% overall. That's worth something. And we finally get to finish off all of Korea. Never mind, there's an ongoing naval battle. There we go. Alrighty, so let's fully annex them and hand all that off. Okay, so that takes a huge chunk over here, another chunk over here, a bit more over here, and all of Korea, and then finishes off some stuff there. So the Empire's looking pretty good still. Ho 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 ho, right, perfect. You hand all this off, I get exactly 100% overextension. Yes, please, that is perfect. So we need to start some more annexations. Let's go for Hosokawa, and do I want to go for anyone else at the same time? We cannot annex you guys yet. You still don't have 190 opinion. That aggressive expansion got pretty bad toward the end, didn't it? Ming, you've kind of run your course, right? Is there anyone else that makes more sense? Yeah, I guess Ming. Let's go ahead and annex 2 at the same time. Yes, that means we're using up 20 of my Diplo power per month, and that's a bit painful, but it's fine. Next war is going to end up being, once again, Persia and Bamanis. Might as well co-belligerize them. Also, whoever the Jules guy is. Chagatai, we're going to fight again. Good lord, those guys are willing to join every fight. But alright, that's okay. Anyway, the point is not to take any land myself this time, so I don't care about the overextension. I just want to feed the vassal swarm, namely Georgia, Genoa, Novgorod, so that when I press the button, I get all that land for free. Imperialism! Aha! Okay, the birthplace of the revolution, Mogadishu. Okay. Where's Mogadishu again? I remember. Oh, over here. Oh, good! Right! Yes! Uh-huh. Okay, so there's something about this that I need to do. Now that we have this... Revolutionary target is at war with Austria, blah, blah, blah. I have to somehow remove revolutionary ideas from all provinces. How I'm going to do that, I don't totally know. It's spreading to 0 provinces at the moment. Now it's spreading to 3. What's the solution, do you think? Release Somalia kill Somalia? It'd be weird, but... I mean, it'd be weird mostly because it's a freaking huge nation, so I'd have to fight them all over again, but it'd be a way of getting rid of the target of the revolution. That might work. It'd be weird, but it might work. Alright, so that cleans up a lot more territory down over here. I hand that all off. My vassals are really starting to surround over here, so this is the current state of the world conquest. It's looking solid. Yeah, this revolution thing is going to be a little bit of a trick. I need to think about this, do a bit of research as to how the mechanics work, and if I have to release Somalia, and then just go kill them in order to say that I fought the target of the revolution, I can do that. It just, if there's a smarter way, I want to figure that out. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.